Welcome back to my channel. This is an extra video instead of my normal weekly Friday release. It seems Mickey Mouth's channel, called Mike's Philippine Journey, disappeared on Monday, September 23rd. Mickey claimed he took it down himself and said he had the receipts to prove it. Meanwhile, people who don't like Mickey were posting their own receipts based on messages they saw from YouTube when they attempted to access his channel. Both sides can't be right, but how do you tell which? I spent several days watching and reading the various claims, and while I can't explain everything, I can narrow things down and also show where contradictory, illogical, or just plain wrong claims are made. So let's see where the weight of the evidence lies. If anyone disagrees, they are welcome to provide additional information to explain away what I found. I'm actually quite curious, not because his channel was taken down. I've never been in the censorship business like Mickey is, but because there are so many convoluted things being said. Let's start at the beginning. I had a couple tabs from Mike's Philippine Journey open one night, which I left to deal with the next day. So on Monday, I first refreshed the tab showing his list of videos, but instead of showing the latest stuff, I saw this YouTube message instead. This page isn't available. Sorry about that. Try searching for something else. And now on screen, you can see the actual link address I used, so you can type it in yourself. I was shocked, but thought that maybe it was just a glitch. Then I went to another tab that was open to one of my specific videos, and when I refreshed that page, I got a different message from YouTube that said, "This video is no longer available because a YouTube account associated with this video has been terminated." Again, on screen, you can now see the link. So we know the link was terminated, but we don't know why or by whom. That is, did Mickey take it down as he claims, or did YouTube take it down for violations? I have no idea why different messages came up in those two links, but it is what it is. While confusing, I was still suspecting a glitch, which would be corrected later in the day. Then another channel by Ballot Vendor had put up a video showing yet another link to Mickey with another different message. I believe that link was to Mickey's official YouTube identifier that the owner can't change. The video shows the whole process of finding and going to that link to Mickey's channel, so we know it is legit. So I did some checking to replicate it. First, I went to ytrank.com and searched for the Terminated channel, Mike's Philippine Journey. That took me to a page showing the channel title, which is also a link. I clicked that to open and, surprise, I got exactly the same YouTube message as Ballot Vendor got, which says, "This account has been terminated because it is linked to an account that received multiple third-party claims of copyright infringement." Now, back at the previous tab, note that it includes the information from the description section of Mickey's Terminated channel, and within that description, provided by Mickey, it shows the same address I just went to. The full link is to his store. But whether you go to the full address or just the part before the store, you get the same copyright termination message. Therefore, we know the link is, in fact, to Mickey's channel, and YouTube says it was terminated because of copyright. That was the first one that made me suspicious that YouTube had actually terminated Mickey's channel. That message is pretty clear. And since it is a YouTube message, it isn't biased and no reason to think YouTube is lying, though I still consider the possibility that it was a glitch. The link is on your screen now for easier reading. Later that day, Mickey did a video about the matter on another of his channels, saying YouTube did not terminate his channel, that he did it himself. And Mickey later showed up on the Philippine Antics channel where he claimed to prove it with receipts. I'll examine that as well. But already we can see that Mickey's claims are contrary to, at the very least, that last official YouTube message. At some point, Mickey will have to explain why YouTube would say it was terminated because the channel is linked to the account of another channel that got multiple copyright strikes. So far, we have denials from a guy who obviously is biased, and statements by YouTube that would not be biased.
The purpose I'm doing here is pretty much trying to show you guys that, unfortunately, most of these vloggers can't do what I'm doing. Most vloggers need their channel to survive.
Basically, he seemed to be saying that he took that channel down. Later, he said it was 2 channels to prove he didn't need the money, and also to prove vloggers in the Philippines couldn't do the same because they do need the money. Sure, it's possible, but does it sound logical? Or is it just a weak excuse? First of all, who cares if he needs the money or not? For those who think he makes sense, I just heard from Elon Musk that he can stop working at any time because he doesn't need the money, and dared everyone who does work to do the same. Also, who cares if some expat vloggers need YouTube income? There are all kinds of things you may be smart to keep doing, even if you don't have a real need. For example, I'm retired and get Social Security, but I also get a much bigger retirement check from where I worked. I don't come close to spending most of it each month. Yet I also chose to be self-employed, doing work I enjoy and bringing in extra money. So same basic concept of someone choosing to do YouTube. It paid pretty well, but I certainly didn't need the money. However, I sure wasn't going to give it up either because that would be kind of dumb. Some I invested, since you never know when some special health issue could drain your savings quickly, even if you have way more than most. But I also used a good portion of it to give more to charity. So if I stopped, I'd be throwing money away that I may wish I had someday, but also wouldn't be able to give as much to charity. So why would I stop? So basically, he was proving some meaningless point that he didn't need the money by taking down his own channels. But he was also claiming to be making a point that while he didn't need YouTube money, the other vloggers in the Philippines did, because they wouldn't dare take his challenge to take down their channels. Well, again, who cares if they need YouTube income? Heck, maybe some of them don't need it, but aren't stupid enough to give up extra money. So we can see that what Mykkie wanted to prove is just meaningless. Oh, wait, he gave another purpose for taking down his own channels.
What I really want to do is we're going to start this channel afresh. That's the purpose of this.
The purpose is to start the channel afresh? He's just throwing different things out there and none of them make sense. If that was his purpose, an intelligent person would keep the old channel, at least at first, but stop posting there other than to do a video explaining he's completely moving to the new channel and include the link. So anyone following his channel can easily find it. Next, let's look at what he said on the Philippine Antics channel and what receipts he has to prove his claim that YouTube didn't take down his channels. He still needs to explain that YouTube message that says it was because of strikes. Let's see if he does it.
I literally announced it in my Discord. So the guys in the Discord knows what's going on right now, and that's why they're laughing at the Discord right now.
Before he took that channel down, he told certain people, I'm taking my channel down, and you watch what happens. And he took it down. YouTube didn't take it down. He said in advance of it going down, I'm taking it down.
Mykkie says he announced it on his Discord channel prior to it actually being taken down. He even had a member show up and say that yes, Mykkie told them in advance, but no proof of any of that was provided. Just Mykkie's claim and the claim of one of his supporters. Even if the supporter is telling the truth, I can think of ways it could be false and the supporter wouldn't know. That's important, and I'll get to it a bit later in this video. Just his claim and his support from a fan isn't good enough to counter the unbiased YouTube message. Another claim Mykkie and his supporter make is that he has all these other channels that were not taken down. He says if one channel was terminated, YouTube would have to take them all down according to policy. Just listen.
Perfect example is like if YouTube takes a channel down, they'll take every single channel that you have that is linked to your name.
So
Even my other companies that I have, my nursing channels and stuff, that's still up. My consulting business channel, that's still up. And so, it is what it is. And so once again, I'm still here.
if they took his channel down, it would be the whole thing. It wouldn't be just Mike's Philippine journey, right? It would be all of his channels.
But that simply isn't true. 2 of those YouTube messages say the account was terminated. So yes, any channels under that account would also disappear. If they are under a different account, they would only disappear if YouTube realizes they are run by the same person. Meanwhile, they would remain. So this claim of Mykkie's isn't a receipt of anything. Mykkie also showed his phone screen with a list of his channels that are still active. Sorry I'm not showing it because, I don't trust Mykkie or anyone who supports him to not make bogus copyright strikes.
Here's all my channels. There's the Filipina reaction. So you can switch your accounts and everything like that from different channels. There's the Filipina reaction channel right there. Okay, so that's right there. So if they went for my channel, they would have had to taken down every single one of them, which they didn't.
But it doesn't matter if it showed a list of his channels because, as already pointed out, what if they are assigned to different accounts and YouTube doesn't realize it yet? So again, this isn't a receipt that means anything, especially since we have those YouTube messages Mykkie needs to explain away or dodge. Mykkie takes a similar approach when he shows his AdSense and repeatedly says if his channel is taken down, he would no longer have that either.
Right? Even though we can go into my AdSense and show that it's active. And by the way, if my thing was canceled, why is my AdSense still open?
Yep, there it is. The AdSense will be gone. Correct.
Why do I? Why?
But from what I've seen, that isn't true either. Might be true in some situations. I don't know about that. But it isn't true in all situations. Here are several examples of clear statements on screen that having a YouTube channel terminated does not mean you automatically lose AdSense. So still having AdSense doesn't mean anything either. And these are just random sources I found from my examples, not including anyone who may have a personal axe to grind against Mykkie, so unbiased. Then we have a really weird excuse with Mykkie playing games to try to claim someone doesn't understand YouTube since they said, "You got a strike." Listen.
Oh, he got a strike. Listen now. No, if you got a strike, you have to have 3 strikes. You have to have 3 of a violation and stuff like that. So it's none of that. And so people who are talking about YouTube like they really know YouTube.
Sure, there must be 3. But someone saying you got a strike doesn't mean that is the only one you got, or that someone didn't make multiple strikes at the same time. Mykkie knows this, so why the obfuscation? He knows because he did that to me when he decided censorship was easier than countering my actual arguments and documentation. Besides, the YouTube message clearly said Mykkie was terminated for having multiple strikes. I also know Mykkie doesn't always know things he claims to know about YouTube, because when he made bogus copyright strikes against me when I was on YouTube, he made it a point to say if I made a counter notification, he'd get my full name, home address, and telephone number. But to make it sound fair, he said it was just like the personal information I got when he made a strike. But that was simply untrue. When I got his strikes, I did not get his name, address, or phone number. It was entirely one-sided. So Mykkie really didn't know, or he lied. After saying his Journey channel makes $15,000 this year, he says his other channels are not monetized, except something from his nursing channel.
No, that's what I make for Mike's Philippine Journey. My other channels they're not monetized except for my nursing.
But then Mykkie later says this about another of the channels he says he also took down.
That fucking channel was making me $900 a month, and I took that channel down too.
Sounds contradictory to me. But let's go back to Mykkie supposedly telling people in Discord ahead of time that he was going to take his own channel down. How to explain that? It is in direct contradiction to the YouTube messages we see. So I did some research to try to find some possible explanations and found some interesting postings by other vloggers who were getting terminated. Here's a typical example. It says, "I've received 3 copyright strikes in one day on the 29th of May, 2022. So my YouTube channel is going to get terminated on the 5th of June, 2022. Do you see it? This person knew he was going to get terminated days before he was actually terminated. In such a case, wouldn't it be easy for him to tell folks he was going to take his own channel down? For that matter, he could take it down himself before that date. But it wouldn't change the fact that he got copyright strikes and was going to be terminated anyway. I saw other people reporting the same things in similar situations. We've already seen that nothing Mykkie has offered actually counters the YouTube messages, but this situation would explain why Mykkie's supporters think he really took his own channel down, even if he didn't. Just one more thing. Are you familiar with the Hans Christian Andersen story called The Emperor's New Clothes? In it, an emperor who was fixated on fancy clothes was conned by two men who claimed to make such wonderful clothing that it would be invisible to any unfit for their office or who was unusually stupid. Of course, there was no such material, but people were so afraid of being viewed as unworthy or stupid if they said they couldn't see it, they all praised how wonderful the clothing was, including the emperor, who was afraid if he admitted he couldn't see it, it would make people think he was unworthy. Well, that con is pretty much the same thing Mykkie does in this next clip, after someone pointed out the obvious that his excuses didn't make sense.
This is the exact proof. See, weak-minded people don't get it. A lot of the people in the chat will get it. They're going to be like, oh, it makes sense.
Just as in the story, con man Mykkie declares if you don't accept his excuses, that is proof you just don't get it. But those who agree with Mykkie, they do get it. Mykkie has no clothes, and it isn't a pretty sight. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.